Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
Well, as you know, your statement was met with some sharp reaction as well. This is what Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi had to say. Take a look. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
Bernie Sanders has not won. Let me, with all due respect, and I have a great deal of respect for him, for what he stands for, but I don't respect him saying that the Democratic Party has abandoned the working class families.
Senator, how do you respond to Nancy Pelosi?
Well, Nancy is a friend of mine, and we've worked together on many issues. But here is the reality. I have to say to Nancy, in the Senate in the last 2 years, we have not even brought forth legislation to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, despite the fact that some 20 million people in this country are working for less than $15 an hour. In America today, we have not brought, in the Senate, we have not brought to the floor the PRO Act to make it easier for workers to join unions. We're not talking about defined benefit pension plans so that our elderly can retire with security. We're not talking about lifting the cap on Social Security so that we can extend the solvency of Social Security and raise benefits. Bottom line, if you're an average working person out there, do you really think that the Democratic Party is going to the mats, taking on powerful special interests and fighting for you? I think the overwhelming answer is no, and that is what has got to change.
Everyone can shut up. I don't want to hear. If I have to hear Morning Joe quote Morning Down, one more. Everyone shut up, Bernie. Shut up, Nancy Pelosi's everybody. Oh, my God. It's a lot, right? Mm-hmm. The knives are out, and this is, stop doing Russia's work. This is what they want us to do, is all fight with each other and place blame here or there. There's plenty of blame to go around, you know. And by the way, people go, well, you guys just didn't know you live in a liberal bubble. A lot of prominent Republicans and pollsters and pundits thought she was going to win.
She should have.
Thank you. And as we keep saying, first of all, they didn't even change their candidate last time they lost, but now it's like, what's wrong with the Democratic Party? They got to stop talking down to people.
I'm sorry.
First of all, talking down to people is calling people rapists and garbage. Donald Trump doesn't talk down to people. Kamala Harris did not talk down to people. At all. She had actually real plans for real people. I'm telling you. I'm hoping, Jody, this finally does, because enough people now are saying it, that it's disinformation. It's this right-wing media infrastructure that way outnumbers us. Because I was saying last week, Jody, if we lost on real issues, that's fine. Yeah. We just lost the debate this time on certain issues. They won on pure lies that were just in Fox News, right-wing radio, right-wing podcasts. I was saying, if I thought people were doing trans surgery on my kid without my permission and Haitians were eating my pets, I'd vote that way too.
Yeah.
But it's all lies. I mean, that's what I think is so...
He also didn't gain any voters.
No.
She just didn't get the voters she needed.
By the way, that's the other thing. I know, by the way, respect everybody's process. Jody said you are both Capricorn and Irish, and you can stay mad for 4 years.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm going to try and... share, because a lot of people they can't either get through or they're too scared to call, and there's so many smart people have so many great thoughts. I'll try to, because that's what this is about. This is our national resistance meeting place again for you to, and wherever you are in the process is fine. If you're still crying, Jody and I cried again yesterday. If you're still crying, if you're angry, someone said they tuned out last week because Chris was too cheery, and I was like, well, if you tuned in for the other 2 hours, I was crying, so there's a little something for everybody here. But like SNL has proven it, and Jimmy Kimmel, we've got to laugh again. That's where our power is. And you made so many points, but you made a good point. Do not feel overwhelmed. There's 76 million of us. Is that the latest popular vote count? Mm-hmm. He won by a couple million votes or something. He's at 78 points. I don't have the actual numbers right in front of me. What's the matter? 3 million right now. 3 million, yeah. But as you said, Jody, less people voted for him than voted last time. Mm-hmm. There are silver linings. I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but also just the historians. Oh my God, I'm so happy we have Heather Cox Richardson today, who so many people have been sending me her stuff forever. Historian, we've been here before. We have been in the dark times, and as Barack Obama said, this was kind of a worldwide throw the incumbents, throw the bums out election, post-pandemic and inflation and all of that. This has happened before, and so it's, I know it feels awful and but all of this, like, okay. I go here. By the way, just so many good. Robert Reich, thank you. To recap, the Republican Party has opposed paid sick leave, paid family and medical leave, universal child care, universal pre-K, tax increases on corporations and the rich, the expanded child tax credit, student debt relief. It doesn't sound like the party of the working class to me. So I'm sorry, it's not helpful, Bernie, to go, Democrats aren't the party of the working people anymore.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Our policies have always, I understand we lost the messaging battle this time, but again, it all goes back to this, not just the right-wing media infrastructure, the mainstream media. They didn't report on any of Biden's successes. No. So it's just, and I don't know how else we could have messaged that we have the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, that inflation is back down to pre-pandemic levels.
It's lower than 2012.
Oh my God, Sean, I screamed at my Uber driver this weekend because he was like, well, he had his phone like this. He's like, all I know is, my money is looking better now. I'm like, Joe Biden's still president, you moron. Joe Biden. It was like the day after the election. But this is what I mean. Remember Rachel Bidikofer was telling us the day after Biden was elected, when she polled Republicans, they're like, oh, the economy sucks now. Because they're just so tribal. They're like, oh, Biden sucks,
Oh, no, he's good.
I didn't actually scream at him. I got along fine, but I was like, maybe we shouldn't talk. Is it too late for me to hit quiet car? Quiet car.
I mean, Donald is going to take credit for the economy as
of
soon
course.
as he takes.
He already has,
yeah.
Right? Remember he said, oh, yeah, the stock market's going up because, they know I'm coming. I'm like, oh, my God. But anyway, that's what I'm saying is I understand we obviously lost the messaging battle, but we are the party. And we were just saying this is so not productive, whether it's Nancy Pelosi saying Biden should have gotten out earlier or Biden's camp saying he would have won. Or I was saying last week, I feel like one of the most valuable statistics was Matt Dowd saying throughout history, the president's approval rating, who is currently in office, is the biggest predicator. And Biden's at 40%. Is it fair? No. We go back to our media problem.
Right.
But that's what they get. Like he said, Carter was at 40%. He got 40%. You can't win with that. He said Kamala Harris actually outperformed that at 48%. Mm-hmm. So in some ways, Jody, everybody's right and everybody's wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, she had too short a runway. Yes, if Biden had gotten out sooner, Barack Obama had a year and a half to get the American people get to know him and build a coalition. Lawrence O'Donnell was right. Nobody in history that replaced their candidate this late has ever won. But Biden likely would have suffered the same fate at 40% and with ageism, replaced misogyny and racism with ageism. So, there's a lot of coulda, shoulda, but it's just, Lindy Lee, I was telling you, I was very disappointed. Went on Fox News and stabbed Biden and Harris in the back.
I saw that. I was like,
I don't
what?
even know, and she doesn't know. Well, she's not behind the scenes, but she was sort of like, Biden endorsing Kamala was a big FU to the party, and
how was that
she
an
saddled
FU?
He saddled the party with Kamala. I'm like, saddled? What? This is what the majority wanted. Obviously there were not very few choices with 90 days out. So it was a perfect storm of factors, I think, and Wajahat Ali said as the collective freakout continues, Harris will lose by about 1.5 points. Trump will get about 50% of the vote. By the way, keep in mind how few people vote. That's it's a little above 30% of America. So when you feel like we are an awful country and, oh my God, everybody's an idiot, that's one of our biggest challenges, I think, of our lifetime, Jody, is getting people to care and to vote. Mm-hmm. Do you know one of the biggest Google searches, Sean, election day? Did Joe Biden drop out?
Oh, and can I change my vote?
The Latino family interviewed go, oh, well, he's not going to deport our undocumented relatives because...
Yeah, he will.
They're not criminals. I'm like, here's my new theory. I think he is, in fact, the devil. I think he is, in fact...
I've said that he's the Antichrist.
El Diablo.
He's the Antichrist.
You would convince Hispanic people to vote for him. Mm-hmm. Deporting, women to vote against their rights. Oh, I saw lots of videos of college kids celebrating Trump's win. Were those same kids protesting Gaza, which is now going to be a parking lot with Jared Kushner condos on it and built over dead Palestinians?
Yeah.
I hate everyone. Have I mentioned I hate everyone? You know what? Maybe we do need a super angry song. Is there anything angrier?
So right now she's at 71 million and
Yeah.
some change, and he's at 74 million and some change.
Yeah. Trump will get about 50% of the vote. Across the Rust Belt swing states, Harris would have lost by less than 150,000 votes, it seems. Trump isn't some wizard or genius. 3 factors determine this election: post-pandemic reality, where nearly every incumbent party lost; 2, racism, misogyny, that many white colleagues still refuse to acknowledge as a major factor; 3, right-wing media domination and disinformation. Period. I'm uplifted that, Jody, that more and more people are getting that. Are and
But will they
maybe
remember?
Right. I mean, but I know, and then I'm quoting Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and I'm like, oh, that they did get shot. But still,
They did get killed, yes.
movements take time, and
And Jill Stein got
and there's
700
always setbacks.
Jill Stein got 705,000 votes so far, and Kennedy got 681,000 votes so far. So
I hate all those
helpful.
people. Hate all those people for
Helpful.
surezies.
Helpful.
There's no denying it, the vibes are really good right now. But vibes alone won't save our democracy. We need votes. At the Grassroots Democrats HQ, we know what it takes to win elections. Knocking doors, making calls, sending texts, and writing postcards. If we're going to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and give them the Democratic Congress to pass their agenda, then we need to roll up our sleeves and talk to a record number of voters between now and November 5th. But let's be clear, we can't do it without you. So, are you ready to work? This is a fight for freedom and our future, and everything is at stake. Don't wake up on November 6th wishing you had done more. Join us. Go to grassrootsdems.org today to sign up to volunteer, and let's go win this thing.